Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Community Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, I'm going to explain to you about some of the questions and answers I'm going to go over with you guys for the TLC test. For those people that plan to become Uber, Lyft, Judo driver, yellow, green, black drivers, whatever you plan to drive, there's a test that you have to take. So I'm not going to go over every question with this part. I'm just going to go over some of the key points. I'll try my best to go over every question, and I'm not going to have questions in sequence. So for example, if you see question 1 to 7, next question from 30 to 35. The reason is because I don't have all the questions with me. Whichever I had, I'm going to go over with that, and that's my material that I have with you guys. So let's get started. So question number 1, from the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, you will enter this highway in Brooklyn. Now, what highway is it? Now, you have to read the questions carefully. There's a lot of trick questions. From the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, you will enter this highway. So, which highway is it? There's 4 highways listed: Long Island Expressway, Prospect Expressway, Gowanus Expressway, and the Belt Parkway. Now, for those people that are driving regularly, you should know the answer. It's going to be Gowanus Expressway. Because once from Manhattan, you take the Brooklyn Tunnel, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. The highway is called the Gowanus Expressway. The Gowanus Expressway, if you keep on going straight down, you'll hit either you're going to go in toward the Staten Island, the highway, or you're going to be going to the Belt Parkway. They're both Belt Parkways, so the Gowanus Expressway will finish from there and will turn something else. So make sure you know that part. Belt Parkway is trick. A lot of people will choose Belt Parkway, but it's not really Belt Parkway, it's Gowanus Expressway. Moving on to question 2. Name the water crossing that connects the Civic Center in Manhattan with Brooklyn Heights in Brooklyn. Which water is it? Is it the Manhattan Bridge? Is it the Williamsburg Bridge? Is it the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel? Or is it the Brooklyn Bridge? Now name the water crossing that connects the Civic Center in Manhattan with Brooklyn Heights and Brooklyn. The only bridge that connects is the Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge is the only one. The Manhattan Bridge is right close to Brooklyn, but it doesn't connect to the Civic Center. Only the Brooklyn Bridge does. The Brooklyn Battery Tunnel is out of the way. It's all the way across there. Once you enter from Brooklyn to Manhattan, you're gonna hit West Side Highway. So the Civic Center is not over there. The only leave the answer is the Brooklyn Bridge. Going to question number 3. From Long Island University, which water crossing will you take to go to Little Italy, Manhattan? Now, from the 4 choices, they give you the Brooklyn Bridge, the Williamsburg Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, and none of the above. The correct answer is the Manhattan Bridge. That's the only bridge you could get into for Little Italy, Manhattan. Question number 4. The Williamsburg Bridge crosses this river. Which river is it? Is it the Hudson River? Is it the Harlem River? Is it the East River, or is it none of the above? Well, it's the East River. That's the correct answer. Question number 5. Name the bridge at the center of Delancey Street. Now, it's Delancey Street. It's close. It's not Brooklyn Bridge. It's not Manhattan Bridge. It's the Williamsburg Bridge. Because once you enter from Brooklyn, if you're hitting the Williamsburg Bridge, the first street they're going to hit is Delancey Street. It's right over there. Question number 6. From downtown Manhattan to Newark Airport, you will use this water crossing. Now, what water crossing is it? Is it the Hudson River? Is it the Harlem River? Is it the East River? Is it none of the above? Well, if you know what it is, it's the Hudson River. Make sure you know that. That's the river towards the other side. Now, this question I don't have, so I'm going to go over question number 16. The Madison Avenue Bridge crosses the river. What is it? The East River? The Harlem River? The Hudson River? Or the Bronx River? Well, the correct answer is the Harlem River. The nearest hospital to the George Washington Bridge is what? Now, this is a trick question. You should know which hospital should it be. It's not the Harlem Hospital, because George Washington Bridge is all the way uptown Manhattan. So, which means that it can't be the Bellevue Hospital. Mount Sinai Hospital is not really close. The answer is the Columbus Presbyterian Hospital, because Columbus University is near it. The hospital is the Columbia Presbyterian Hospital is right close to it. So that's the correct answer. Question number 18. The Alexandria Hamilton Bridge will lead you into the highway in the Bronx. Well, the only highway it connects is the Cross Bronx Expressway. Question number 19. The Broadway Bridge requires a toll, connects the Bronx with Manhattan, crosses the East River, or connects Marble Hill with Inwood. The correct answer is connects the Bronx with Manhattan. That's the Broadway Bridge. Question number 20. If you pick up a passenger in Manhattan who wants to go to Riverdale, with water crossing, will you use the Triborough Bridge? Will you use the George Washington Bridge? Will you use the Washington Bridge? Or will you use the Henry Hudson River Bridge? The correct answer is the Henry Hudson River Bridge. Now, question number 22. I actually missed question number 21. Hold on a sec. Question 121. From LaGuardia Airport to City Island in Bronx, which water crossing will you use? Will you use the Triborough Bridge? Will you use the Throgneck Bridge? Will you use the Queensboro Bridge? And will you use the Bronx Whitestone Bridge? The correct answer is the Bronx Whitestone Bridge. Question 22. Which borough connects the Throgneck Bridge? Answer is Queens and Bronx. Question number 23. Which borough connects the Pulaski Bridge? It's Brooklyn and Queens. Question number 24. The Greenpoint Avenue Bridge crosses this body of water. It's the Newton Creek. Question number 25. The Kosciuszko Bridge is part of this highway. Now, which highway is it? It's the BQE. Because the Bell Parkway is not over there. Bell Parkway is all the way to the different side. The Gowanus Expressway is connected to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. So the Kosciuszko Bridge is right next to the BQE. It's connecting between basically from Queens to Brooklyn, Queens to Bronx, I should say. That's the bridge. If that's the highway where, or the bridge where you're going to connecting to LaGuardia Airport and also heading towards JFK. Question number 26. When you cross the Marine Parkway Bridge from Brooklyn to Queens, you will exit on this park. It's the Jackass Rails Park. Because once you're going from Brooklyn, if you take the Marine Parkway Bridge, when you're going from Brooklyn towards Queens, that's the first park you'll see. It's called Rockaway Parkway or Far Rockaways. That's the first park you'll hit. Question number 27. The Marine Parkway Bridge crosses this body of water. It's called the Railway in Indel. Question number 28. The Cross Bay Veterans Memorial Bridge, what is it? Connects Brooklyn with Queens, connects Queens with Nassau County. It is only in Queens and none of the above. Guess what? It's only in Queens. Question 29. The Verrazano Narrow Bridge crosses which bodies of water? It's called the Narrows. That's the body of water. Question number 30. The Goethals Bridge crosses this body of water. It's the Arthur Kill. Question number 31. Which highway will take you into the Bayonne Bridge from Staten Island to New Jersey? It's called the Martin Luther King Jr. Expressway. Now, question number 32. Which highway takes you into the Outer Bridge crossing from Staten Island to New Jersey? It's called the Narrow Var Veterans. If I do make a mistake, guys, feel free to comment in the video. I'll able to correct it as well and put the answers as well if you think I did make a mistake. Now, water crossing. So what is a water crossing? Let's go over some of the terminology. A water crossing is something called a river crossing. It refers to any means by which you cross a river. A bridge or a tunnel is considered a water or river crossing. In this attachment called water crossing, all the crossing between the 5 boroughs and between the New York City and New Jersey will be discussed. As part of the heading for each crossing, we will indicate whether the crossing requires a toll. Beneath the heading, you will bullet providing you with information about the particular crossing. Obviously, your goal is to learn the water crossing through the city, familiar yourself with the routes, guys, the water crossing, and obviously you know the neighborhood connected to the water crossing. It's always good to know as a driver. And now, let's say, for example, Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. It's a toll. Make sure you know that all the tunnels have a toll. There's no tunnel that doesn't have the toll. I'll give you an exception for one tunnel. But it's smaller tunnels, not really connected to any borough. Let's say, for example, if you're coming from Brooklyn Battery Tunnel and you get off, you hit the West Side Highway, but you want to take the FDR Drive. You make a left from there and you go onto the FDR Drive north, and you'll see a tunnel. That tunnel is free. That's a small tunnel. Anything small tunnel is usually free. You'll get another tunnel on First Avenue. It's First Avenue Tunnel. That's also a small, literally tunnel with literally 1 mile. So those tunnels are free. The tunnels you think you have to pay is mostly, for example, if you're connected to another borough. Queens Midtown Tunnel, Brooklyn Battery Tunnels. These are the 2 tunnels you'll see that will get you money. Lincoln and New Jersey, those are connected to New Jersey. That's also a tunnel as well. So keep that in mind. So Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, it connects Manhattan with Brooklyn. It crosses the East River. Your entrance from Manhattan from West Street, that's the entrance from West Street. And neighborhoods in Manhattan are Battery Park City. Exits in Brooklyn and Gowanus Expressway if you're coming from Manhattan to Brooklyn. And neighborhoods in Brooklyn is a Red Hook. That's the first thing you hit. Now Brooklyn Bridge, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. Now it connects Manhattan and Brooklyn. It crosses the East River. The entrance is from Manhattan. Park Road by Pace University, Pearl Street and Frankfurt Street in Manhattan, Chambers Streets in Manhattan. Now FDR Drive is right over there, East New York Drive north and south. Neighborhoods in Manhattan, Civic Center. Exits in Brooklyn, Adams Street, obviously, once you come from Manhattan to Brooklyn. Expressway, the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, you hit the BQE right then and there. Neighborhoods in Brooklyn is the Brooklyn Heights. The Manhattan Bridge is also free. Keep that in mind. Now, key maps. Now, always good to know about certain things as well with key maps. Just keep that in mind. For example, New Jersey Turnpike south to Newark Airport. You know, like you'll be driving a lot of times to New Jersey as well because of Newark Airport. So keep that in mind. Manhattan Bridge, I don't have really notes over here at this time, but I'm going to tell you about Manhattan Bridge. Manhattan Bridge is the one closest to Brooklyn. Manhattan Bridge, if you're taking, the first thing you'll hit is either Canal Street, or you could actually hit, it's called Chinatown. It's right over there. You'll hit if you come from Brooklyn to Manhattan. Manhattan Bridge has an upper roadway and lower roadway, so keep that in mind. Upper roadway, if you're planning to go to Canal Street towards the West Side Highway, you'll not hit it. You'll go actually straight, and you'll have to actually go loop her around and go towards the West Side Highway. The lower roadway is usually connected to Canal Street, especially if you're planning to go to New Jersey. It's right over there, and then you'll get it easily. So keep that in mind. Now, Queensboro Bridge, it's the 59th Street Bridge, or also called the Adcock Bridge. It's also no toll. It connects Manhattan and Queens, enters in Manhattan for the lower level, 59th Street and 2nd Avenue, also the 59th Street between 1st Avenue and 2nd Avenue. It exits in Queens from the lower level, Queens Plaza, Queens Boulevard Bridge, Northern Boulevard, Jackson Avenue. It enters in Manhattan for the upper level, 58th Street and 57th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue. Neighborhoods in Manhattan between Landlux Hill and Turtle Bay. Crosses the East River, and neighborhoods in Queens is between Queensbridge and Long Island City. The Tri-Borough Bridge, which is called the RFK Bridge, that's a toll. It connects Manhattan, Queens, and the Bronx. These are the main bridge, especially if you're planning to go to Connecticut. Enters in Manhattan, 125th Street and 2nd Avenue, 124th Street and 2nd Avenue, FDR Drive and Harlem River Drive. Neighborhoods in Manhattan, East Harlem and Randall's Island. Randall's Island is right underneath the Tri-Borough Bridge. So if you're planning to take Randall's Island, it's right underneath it. You have to pay a toll, you go underneath it, that's what Randall's Island is. Crosses the East River, and neighborhoods in the Bronx is the Port Morris. Bridges between Manhattan and the Bronx. Willis Avenue Bridge, that's free. It connects, it enters in Manhattan, 1st Avenue and 125th Street. It's the FDR Drive or East River Drive. Crosses the Harlem River, exits in the Bronx, Willis Avenue, Buckner Expressway and the major Dean Expressway are the major highways. Neighbors in the Bronx is the Mount Heaven, and important, this is the one-way bridge to the Bronx. This bridge does not bring you back to Manhattan. So keep that in mind. It's like only one way you go, and that's it. Henry Hudson Bridge. It's a toll. Connects Manhattan and the Bronx. Enters in Manhattan, Henry Hudson River Parkway. Neighborhoods in Manhattan is Inwood. Crosses the East River, and exits in the Bronx in the Henry Hudson River Parkway. The Bronx Whitestone Bridge is also a toll. It connects from Bronx and Queens. It exits in Queens, Whitestone Expressway, crosses the East River. Throgs Neck Bridge, it connects the Bronx with the Queens. It's also a toll. Clearview Park is the place where you exit. It exits in Queens. Pulaski Bridge is no toll. Connects Queens and Bronx. Enters in Brooklyn, McGinnis Boulevard, or neighborhoods in Brooklyn is the Greenpoint. Exit in Queens in Jackson Avenue and 11th Street. And neighborhoods in Queens is the Hunter Point. Bryan Memorial Bridge, Greenport Avenue Bridge is free. Connects Queens and Brooklyn through Greenport Avenue. Kosciuszko Bridge is also free. Connects Brooklyn and Queens to the BQE. Neighborhoods connect Greenpoint and Brooklyn, West Mesford, and Queens. So these are some of the bridges that I discussed. Keep this in mind always if you're planning to take a test. Make sure you know which bridges are free, which ones are not, which of the tunnels that have you toll, which one is not. Important place, monuments to remember. These are some of the things they're going to ask you questions, and always good to get these questions right. It's easy questions. You don't really have to learn anything because it's so simple. Streets and avenues. The portion of this Manhattan attachment will discuss the major thoroughfare into Manhattan and some of the less traveled streets. It is important that you become familiar with all these roads, where they begin and end, and where they are located within the borough. First Avenue is one-way northbound street that begins at East Houston and goes up to 127th Street. Below East Houston, First Avenue becomes Allen Street. Second Avenue runs one way south. It begins in East Hudson Street and ends at 129th Street. Below East Hudson Street, 2nd Avenue becomes Christie Street. Christie Street is a two-way street. 3rd Avenue begins at Cooper Square. Above 24th Street, 3rd Avenue runs one way north up to 130th Street. Below 21st Street, 3rd Avenue is a two-way avenue and runs north and south. 4th Avenue begins on Cooper Square. It's one-way northbound avenue. The North and 4th Avenue is at 14th Street, Union Square. The avenue extension is the north end of 4th Avenue is Park Avenue South. This is a two-way avenue from 17th Street to the East 32nd Street, Union Square. Also remember, Union Square has many ways to connect it, so keep that in mind. It is likely that a significant amount of your time as a taxi cab driver will be spent in the borough of Manhattan. Most people work there and most visitors stay and visit the sites of this borough. It is important that you know how to negotiate the traffic, get passengers to the destination, and become familiar with the places of interest. Bus, train, and terminal and other points where your passenger will ask you to be taken. Most people think that Avenue in Manhattan runs north to south and that the street runs east to west. If you look at the key map in your 5-borough atlas, however, you will see that the avenues are at an angle and actually run northeast to southwest. For your purposes, it really does not matter because when a passenger asks you to be taken uptown, they will be thinking as you north. Downtown, like Greenwich Village, Soho, the financial district will always be through of as a south. Most avenues and streets in Manhattan are one-way streets. For example, 3rd Avenue is an uptown street and 2nd Avenue runs downtown. Is that really true? Well, yes and no. 3rd Avenue is actually a two-way street until you reach East 24th Street. It then becomes a one-way northbound street. The same is true of 2nd Avenue and several other avenues in Manhattan. It is important for you to be aware of these when streets becomes one or two ways. Some avenues are two-way like Park Avenue, and some streets like 42nd Street are also carry traffic in both directions. To negotiate your way around Manhattan, it will be necessary for you to be aware of those directions, and direction changes as is streets. 5th Avenue divides Manhattan into two east and west. All streets east of 5th Avenue will be referred to as the east streets. For example, if you're traveling on any east-west street, the name will change when you cross 5th Avenue. East 22nd Street will become the West 22nd Street, etc. The street numbers as follow the patterns. 1 East 22nd Street will be right as 5th Avenue, and the number will continue to increase as you travel east. Similarly, 1 West 22nd Street will begin on the west side in the 5th Avenue intersection and will continue up to as you travel west. Although most of Manhattan is divided east and west by 5th Avenue, and the number of street gets higher as you go north, this is not true of the entire borough. For example, Greenwich Village does not follow that formula. The streets are irregular that flow at all angles. Greenwich Village is a very important neighborhood that tourists and residents frequently visit. The best way to become familiar with that neighborhood is to study your map and throughout the area. Last page, guys. Some other questions I wanted to go through over here as well. The nearest water crossing of Pennsylvania Station is the Lincoln Tunnel. Number 9, if you take a passenger from Grand Central Station to Newark Airport, which water crossing would you use? It's the Lincoln Tunnel. Name a free toll water crossing between Manhattan and Queens. It's the 59th Street Bridge and the Queensboro Bridge. Question number 11, the other names for Queensboro Bridge is the 59th Street Bridge. Question number 12, the Triborough Bridge will lead you into this highway in Queens. It's the Grand Central Parkway. Question number 13, why is it called the Triborough Bridge? Because it connects three boroughs, Manhattan, Queens, and the Bronx, which is true. The Willis Avenue Bridge is a one-way to the Bronx, and the 3rd Avenue Bridge is a one-way to Manhattan. Other than that, guys, thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other questions, comment, concern, please comment, like, subscribe, and I helped you guys out, help you study for this test. Best of luck for those people that are taking this test, and if you guys have any questions at all, please, guys, comment. I will try my best. We could actually create a discussion in the comment box so that we could actually help each other out as well. So if any other questions, you do go and take the test. And if you have any questions, comment in the video, and we could help each other out again. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.